maximizing productivity and growth opportunities for business and industry. See how Sigma breakthrough technologies can turn problems into profit through Six Sigma solutions. From technological breakthroughs to innovative business strategies, from manufacturing to e-commerce, from telecommunications to the home computer. On World Business Review with Alexander Haig.
Welcome to World Business Review. I'm Alexander Haig. Six Sigma Solutions is our next topic for review. Here for this discussion is Dr. Stephen Zinkgraf, CEO of Sigma Breakthrough Technologies. Welcome, Steve. We're delighted to have you on the show.
It's great to be here, Al.
Now, our industry expert for this segment is our old friend Dan Miklovic, Vice President of Research at Gartner G2. Always a treat to have you.
Thanks, Al.
Now, Dan, why are Six Sigma and lean methods getting so much attention these days?
Well, because we're still focused on trying to compete in a very, very competitive business environment. It's a global economy. Companies have to compete. They have to manage cost. But more importantly, they have to look at how to make their businesses more efficient and serve the customer better. The idea here is to use tools that let you deliver the right product to the customer in a cost-effective way and really serve the customer better.
Very good. Now, your turn, Steve. How did all of this originate, and how did Sigma Breakthrough get involved in the first place?
Well, Motorola initiated Six Sigma in the late 80s, and that helped them get the Malcolm Baldrige Award, and it also helped them really reduce the cost of their internal processes and get the title a bit more strongly to the customers. Then for a few years, a couple other companies dabbled in it, but it wasn't until Larry Bossidy at the then Allied Signal, now Honeywell, started Six Sigma and really related it to bottom line results. He insisted that anything we did in Six Sigma went to the bottom line, and that really changed the view of Six Sigma across the industry. Of course, GE followed on soon after, and the rest has been history. Sigma Breakthrough Technologies was started after I left Allied Signal after about 3 years. Mm-hmm. And because of the market that was created by the success of both Allied Signal and GE, there was a huge marketplace. Plus, leaders were leaving companies and going to other companies. Mm-hmm. So we've been in the business for about 5 years now.
Now, for more on this important subject, let's go to this World Business Review field report.
Based upon the proven success of companies like GE and Toyota, companies around the world are turning to improvement process methodologies to address critical business issues. For CSX Transportation of Jacksonville, Florida, that meant exploring the Six Sigma methodology through Sigma Breakthrough Technologies.
We had a performance improvement process in the early 90s that really made a difference in our financial performance. And towards the end of the 90s, it started to dry up. And when we assessed that, what we really found is that the process improvements that we were trying to make were really dependent on individual leaders. And we really didn't have a structured approach that we could teach everybody to solve problems. And we started investigating Six Sigma, and we found that they really gave you a DMAIC structure to fix the problems.
When CSX began this process, it first identified its improvement issues.
Early in our improvement process with Six Sigma, we had to do a lot of things simultaneously. We had to train new people. We had to put black belts in place. We had to go find master black belts. During this process, we first followed the money. That means we went to the places where we found the most waste and the most breakage in our system, and we tried to use Six Sigma to initially save money. That was the focus during the first, I'd say, year and a half. We then moved to where we are now, which is trying to use Six Sigma to help us on higher level issues. In the departments for which I'm responsible, those higher level issues center around reliability. So our main focus has been improving the reliability of our processes for our customer rather than a pure cost reduction.
Once it was able to focus on its key issues, it was then able to not only measure its gains, but benefit from meaningful, real-time lessons learned.
We've been measuring the gains very detailed. All of our projects go through an economic analysis in the beginning phase as well as when we get into the analyze phase, and we are able to track on a project-by-project basis the benefits. And we analyze that from both the direct benefits that they're causing on our current income statement, and we also measure it in terms of those assets that we talked about, in terms of future capital investments avoiding. So we track that, we monitor that, and most importantly, that's a big advantage of Six Sigma. It's all tracked in our control charts right now, making sure that we are getting those benefits.
We have been very careful near the end of each project to ensure that the sponsor of that project was well armed with all the project information, to make sure they had really been involved with the project. We then have developed a set of scorecards or dashboards that we use to manage the back end of each process for at least a year after the process is completed. And that dashboard looks at the X's as well as the Y's of whatever it was we were trying to improve, to ensure that the sponsor is aware of where his project is, what the results have that we're expecting, to make sure that project results, the improvement area, stays within its control limits, and when it doesn't, to allow senior management and that sponsor and the champion of the project to take action quickly to put it back into control. And that's been very, very successful for us as a management team in our area to manage the conclusion of our projects and really to get the main benefit we wanted, which was permanent fixes to our problems. Too often in the past our problems were fixed, but they weren't fixed permanently, and as soon as we turn our attention to something else, the problem would revert back to its original state. This way we assure ourselves that the problem remains under control, and when it doesn't, we're able to take quick management action to fix the problem or to put it back under control again. On our early learnings, we learned lots of things in our first projects that we've tried to put back into practice now as we've gotten a little bit more mature in using this tool. One of the first things we learned is that sponsors have to be picked very carefully. The sponsor has to be that person who's responsible for the area, who's going to get the benefit of whatever our Six Sigma solution is. We found that those sponsors have to be trained, probably have more training in Six Sigma methods to make them a good sponsor than we were initially given. We're having to take all of our senior managers and give them additional training in how to use these tools so that they can properly guide these projects.
There is an old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. In this instance, the process is taken further, with greater integration as a corporate philosophy based upon proven mathematical applications. For World Business Review, I am Joe Trubinsky.